Today on Gary Keep It Simple, starring the JVC KD-a33. It's a nice cassette deck. Quick look round it to see how to work it. If you're new to cassettes, any cassette deck, this is the sort of thing you need to know. It's applicable to any cassette deck, but this one is in particular the KD-a33. When you look round, the controls are the same on most cassette decks. If they're not exactly the same, they'll be labelled very, very similar. Just wanted you to see here, I've just highlighted some bits on your thing. We'll go through them in the numbers that were shown. Number one, the standby power timer switch always causes problems because people forget where they've put it. And then number two is the input switch. People try and record something and then it won't work because they've got it switched to microphone. Always important that you check those if there's any problems. Next we have the ANRS switch, which is quite important and needs to be looked at properly. This is the record and playback tape select and is very, very, very important. Finally we have these two, the knob and the meters. We'll have a look at those and explain them in a minute. This is the ANRS switch and it's got an off, an on and a super position. If you put it into super position and record a tape, when it plays back you have to have it in the super position and it will sound as good as it can do. If you have it in the on position, you can use it to play back tapes that have got Dolby and whatever on them, and that will sound better than if you don't. But if you like the sound of it off, then turn it off. It's one of these things that a lot of people have a lot of opinions on, but it's there. Try it. It won't break anything. It's just a case of if you don't like what it does, don't use it. Next we have the tape selector switch. This is very important and it needs to be in the right position. If you've got a standard tape, you have it in the bottom position on this one. It says normal. If you've got a ferrochrome tape, which is a type 3 tape, then you put it in the middle position, well, the first one up. If you've got a chrome tape or a high bias tape, then you put it in the next position up, which is where it says. Then if you've got a metal tape, because this deck can actually cope with metal tapes, then you put it in the top position. It's important that you record with it in the right position. It doesn't matter very much whether you play back with it in the right position. It just means it won't quite sound the same as it would do if it was in the right position, but you can alter that on your tone controls. So again, you can't break anything by playing back the tape in the wrong position, but make sure it's in the right position to record, because otherwise it's going to sound absolutely pants. Once you get it recording, this is the bit that's most important. This is the input level controls. When you turn that big knob there, it alters the levels at which the meters show. What you want to do is you want to keep the meters to below 0 for the average major part of the music. Here you can see the 0 being pointed out on both meters. If your meters are banging the needles up to that sort of mark where the yellow line is now, you're recording too hard. If you record at that sort of level, what you're actually doing is you're pounding the tape with the signal and the tape's just not going to respond very well, which means that although you may not hear it the first time you play it, after a little while you will get extreme listening fatigue. The distortion will be hidden amongst the cacophony that you're recording, but it will be there and it will not be very nice. This is the recording sweet zone. This is where you want your needle to be bobbing about most of the time. This recording of a tone, as you can see, it's a single spike, was done at that sort of level on the meters. This is the same tone recorded at this sort of level, and as you can see it's got a few spikes on it. Now I've labelled them up here and I've written it up as bad. It's not awful, it's just you can see that's where it's starting. This is the same trace, well, same signal at this sort of level, and as you can see it's got these really nasty spikes. They are not to be had. The top one's fine, but see the gap between the first one and the second one is very small. That means you can hear that. And the third one is very small. That means you can hear it. That's the problem. That's not what you want to have. If you back the level down to round about the 1 or 2 plus, you'll actually get a sound that is much, much nicer. It won't hurt the ears, it won't damage the equipment, and it will sound good. So try and keep your levels sensible. Only extreme loud crashes should go into the red. The rest of the sound should be well into the grey on this particular meter. So around about the 3 dB minus is where you want the majority of your music sound to be. This is a nice deck, and if you stick to the parameters, it will give you good results. And with that ANRS, it should be very good results. Anyway, that's the end of it, and I'll catch you again. This video was a direct result of a subscriber asking me a question. If you've got any questions and you want to get some answers, put it down in the comments or get in touch with me directly. Anyway, like, subscribe, catch you later.